Yeah, I mean, because you know what, when you when I do the interviews, when you relax and have fun, everything's more natural, and it's you. Sometimes it's like you can answer questions more easily versus just okay. Well, how did you get started in this? Well, how long? You know, it's.
Gotcha.
And also, I have fun with it, you know.
Wonderful.
So, okay, we have been recording, by the way.
Okay.
Now, would you like to give a tour of the basic shop while we're doing this?
I would love to give a tour. This is the room that you enter from the door, from the outside door. This is where we have the majority of our clothing. So, we have our dresses. We have our designer section. We have our denim wall. We have a jewelry counter. We have this lovely young lady looking around. We have a jewelry counter here.
Okay. Now, one quick question, as far as vintage and everything. I apologize. You'll know I think fast, so it's just
So your groovy vintage piece. These are awesome. They're so Brady Bunch in perfect condition.
Oh God. I remember.
Made in the USA.
I was born in '71.
You were awesome.
Now, I was actually going to ask about denim. A lot of people think that denim is actually becoming part right off. What is the definition of vintage? Because with myself, it's okay, I think of the 20s, 30s, stuff like that, but it's almost like the 70s even now are becoming...
The 90s are actually vintage. I mean, by definition, it's 20 or 25 years. If something's 20 to 25 years old, that's already considered vintage. And I think antique is 50 or more years
Basically like cars.
Yeah.
Okay.
So... Even the 90s, early 90s is vintage.
Ouch, I feel old.
Is vintage.
Ouch, I'm feeling, yeah.
Vintage. But in my book, I would say anything early 80s and back is my definition of vintage, or things I would personally be interested in.
Okay, because some people also seem to think of it, like I said, when I think of vintage, I think of a certain style more than, more than a time frame.
Styles kind of go by era.
Okay.
So, I mean,
what would be a good example of vintage style from the 80s?
High-waisted acid wash jeans.
I used to love those.
Sequined butterfly-shaped tops.
Okay. In the 70s, obviously, bell bottoms, things like that.
Bell bottoms, elephant leg pants. I
Yep.
wanted a pair of those patched jeans.
Okay.
Vests, things like that.
Okay.
So on to our next room.
I apologize if I interrupt you with questions. It's just the way my brain works.
Please do. This is what we call our girls' night out room.
Okay.
We have formal wear in here. We have our skirts in here. Over on the left side are the longer and mid-length skirts. On the right side are our shorter skirts, and we have vintage hats there, and we have some costumes.
Okay.
And then here we have our dressing rooms if somebody's in one.
Okay.
And we have shoes.
Of course.
I'm stuck here. We have shoes, and then we have everyday handbags. The designer handbags I try to keep out front so I can keep an eye on them.
Okay.
So then we have this back room, which if you have any appreciation for historic buildings, this was a vault room. So it can either look like a dilapidated, busted up back room, or it can look like a huge piece of history, depending on the way you look at things.
Actually, where you have your counter, you can easily tell that about the history in the building.
Yeah, they're actually, it's built into the building.
Okay.
And under the glass there are receipts and old paperwork and newspaper clippings.
Okay.
From as far back as maybe 100 years ago.
Wow.
So back here we have overflow of plus size. We have the majority of the vintage section.
Okay.
And we have our bargain wall, which could afford to be folded and neatened up right now, and our bargain bins. See, all of these items are $1, $2, and $3, so we can be something for every budget.
So it's not just, okay, you don't have to spend a lot of money.
No.
Okay.
You can come in here with $1 in your pocket and buy something for yourself. And these things are not stained or out of style or missing buttons or have broken zippers. It's all good things.
Okay.
A lot of Hollister t-shirts, Abercrombie t-shirts for $1, $2.
So it's brand name. It's some brand name stuff back there also.
Yeah, this is a rather groovy vintage piece right here. It's a leather jacket with lamb wool.
I could picture, honestly, this is something I could picture to see people just with the wool wearing around Christmas time, both like over in England and over here, because
Yeah.
it almost has that St. Nicholas,
Winter Wonderland kind of look to it. That you don't see things like this very
No.
often. And this beautiful, beautiful red leather. This is also a vintage piece.
Okay.
But this is very.
I have
very
not
hard to
seen
find
anything
in
like
good
that in my
condition.
entire life other than watching movies.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah.
And here's some vintage hats. I don't know if you remember the store around here, Two Guys.
Yep.
Remember they used to get fines for being open on Sunday?
Yep.
So we actually have,
Two Guys was in Whitehall Mall.
Yep. And we have up front we have a 1940s original vintage Easter hat in its
Wow.
original Hess's box.
Wow.
Right up here we have it.
I remember those boxes when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a something for everybody, something for every size, something for every style, and something for every budget.
Okay, so but like the clothing, it's like something you love and some of your like one of your passions more than just
Absolutely, it's like working in a huge closet. Can't get better than that.
true. I have more of a simpler style: jeans, t-shirt, leather jacket. I'm good to go. You know. But now, this is based on someone I know who also owns a vintage clothing shop in Allentown. A lot of people think that this is only that like vintage clothing and like things like this are only for women, but guys really get into this stuff also.
Yes, I personally don't have a men's section,
Okay.
but men do. They're upcoming with the getting on the ball with the resale stores.
Okay.
There are some men's resale stores in the valley.
Okay.
There's Men's Again on Emmaus Avenue in Allentown. I think that's the only one that I know of that's strictly men.
Right.
You can get a lot of great things there. Designer things, for next to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a place the men would want to check out.
Yeah.
So we cater to the women of the valley here.
Okay.
And actually, we were just voted best women's boutique and best consignment boutique by Lehigh Valley.
Something to be proud of. Now what, like this location here, when you decided, okay, you wanted to open a shop. This building, I found out about your shop by taking the historic tour, the old home tour.
Yes.
Why, this is like, with the history and everything, with what you sell here, it's like the perfect combination to me. Why did you choose like this location versus going with something more modern? Yeah, I do ask off the wall questions.
Well, modern, it's kind of, square rooms, white walls. It's not really an experience. I think coming in here shopping with the building being what it is, it's an experience. It's very
Right.
relaxed. It's very...
So you want to give people the experience versus just having them come in, okay,
Exactly.
versus just go for the sales. You actually want people to, even if they don't buy something the first time, you want to give more than not just the clothing you have here. You want to give them another reason to come back here versus just, okay, well, like a department store or something, or a more modern shop where it's like, all right, we're just focused on the bottom line.
Correct. And also we want to, we're building up Front Street as a business district.
I noticed.
It's a small town and there are a lot of great businesses here in Catasauqua, and a lot of people don't know that.
There's also a great stage at the Catasauqua Park I found.
Absolutely. A lot of fun to be held down there at the Catasauqua Park. A lot of fun.
Yeah, Catasauqua is actually a very nice town.
Yep, and it's on the rise as far as small business.
Oh, really? Good.
Definitely. There's a video store here called Jay and Brian's Video Store. It's down 3 blocks more down on Front Street.
Mm-hmm.
This is it's one way here, so you'd have to actually walk down there. They're one of the last ones standing that you actually can go in and select and not stand at a red box outside and possibly.
And that's amazing considering Blockbuster and Hollywood Video, all those stores have long gone, and yet the local video stores are still in existence. A lot of places, I take notice, like a lot of small businesses, like in the city of Easton, but it seems like, but what you said about Catasauqua, that's cool that it's like not just certain locations that you can go into small towns and get a lot of great local businesses also. I mean, great pizza shop right down the road here.
There's actually three pizza places here in Catasauqua, and all three of them are awesome.
Yeah.
There's a dance hall next door where you can go have dance instruction lessons. They do all kinds of nifty things. East Coast swing, belly dancing, hula hooping classes. Like, I don't know anywhere else you can get something like that. Next door is Blondie's Cupcakes. They were voted best cupcake in the Valley by Lehigh Valley Style magazine. All kinds of nifty things. If you have a day off, definitely Catasauqua is a place where you'd want to park your car down at the base of Front Street and just walk up, and also go up Bridge and Pine Street and see all the little businesses.
And also, Catasauqua has some cool festivals and everything. I'm looking forward to the Festo Fall. I covered it last year. That was really cool. I actually covered it last year. That was really cool. And also, I was impressed with the pool up here.
The pool?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually very family friendly because...
I was impressed at the size of it.
Yeah, you can be almost at the end of it and the water's only up to here.
Okay,
so it's not,
good, because people like me who can't never learn to swim.
Yeah, you can't drown in that pool. And if you could, I'd be very impressed.
Now, as far as, I don't want you to give away any secrets, okay? But as far as how to, like, when you get clothing in, when people get clothing in, how difficult is it to say, okay, well, yeah, this is something that I think will sell that I'm interested in. This is something that it can't be all that easy at times.
No, it's not, especially when I have to refuse items. I'm as polite as possible about it, and I just apologize. I say, I'm sorry, I can't take this, that, or the other thing, or everything at this time because I'm overstocked, or, I never say anything negative. People can be very easily offended. So I don't go through it piece by piece and say, I'll take this because, and I won't take this because. I offer for them to look around or to look over the consignment agreement. So I do read the consignment agreement to all my new consigners. I read it word for word out loud so that there's no, questions left over at the end. So, unfortunately, there are times where I have to refuse some items for various reasons. Okay,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I actually was, more gearing towards where it's like with me, I couldn't even begin to I'm thinking it's like, how would it, for myself, there's no way I could say, okay, well, yeah, this is what I would take, this is what I wouldn't. It cannot be that easy at times when you're looking at things. Am I right?
Well, for the first year, it was kind of hard because I didn't want to refuse anything. I didn't want to upset or offend anybody. But it just comes to a point where you have to be extremely selective. We don't have a good reputation for no reason. I do hand select everything. I go over it with a fine-tooth comb. We do get a lot of things that are new with retail store tags.